All good things must end. Collapse, the great filter in humanity. Why does humanity appear to be alone in the universe? With billions of stars and planets, the likelihood of other life evolving in the vastness of space appears high, but no extraterrestrial life, activity, or artifacts have been detected. Enrico Fermi asked fellow physicists Edward Teller, Herbert York, and Emil Konopinski this question over lunch during the summer of 1950. In subsequent years, he further explored this question, wondering over the unlikely singular existence of humanity. This is now termed the Fermi Paradox. In 1961, astrophysicist Frank Drake attempted to quantify the likelihood of intelligent, advanced civilizations developing in our galaxy. Now called the Drake equation, the formula attempts to calculate the number of intelligent civilizations with which humanity could communicate by assessing the likelihood of key criteria for intelligent life's evolution being met. Although pessimistic calculations suggest that humanity's existence is unlikely, many scientists, including Carl Sagan, believe that the equation indicates the existence of numerous other civilizations, which only deepens the mystery of Fermi's original question: where is everybody? A rather ominous solution to the Fermi paradox was proposed by economist Robin Hanson in 1996. Hansen proposed all intelligent species would have to pass 9 key thresholds in order to develop the capabilities necessary for communication with humanity. Number one, the right star system, including organics and potentially habitable planets. Number two, reproductive molecules, for instance, RNA. Number three, simple prokaryotic single cell life. Number four, complex eukaryotic single cell life. Number five, sexual reproduction. Six, multi-cell life. Seven, tool-using animals with intelligence. Eight, a civilization advancing towards the potential for a colonization explosion, where we are now. And nine, a colonization explosion. At least one of these thresholds is not achieved by all or the vast majority of other species in the galaxy, which explains the absence of detected extraterrestrial life. Astrobiologists Dirk Schultz-Mackich and William Baines hypothesized that steps 1 through 7 are likely to occur on any Earth-type planet, which leaves step 8, where humanity is now, or step 9, where humanity is headed, as the likely points of failure. This would place humanity either in the middle of the Great Filter or headed towards it. Additional research points to the likelihood humanity is at step 8 and is now experiencing the Great Filter with a resolution on the near horizon. In 1972, the Club of Rome sponsored the development of World 3 by MIT researchers, a dynamic model simulating interactions between population, industrial growth, food production, and limits in the ecosystems of the Earth. The model was developed in conjunction with the book The Limits to Growth, which analyzed possible scenarios of population and economic growth and its impact on Earth's finite resources. The findings from World 3, which modeled thousands of different scenarios, were published in The Limits to Growth, with 3 scenarios emerging as most likely of the scenarios presented. In the first scenario, comprehensive technology, consumption is business as usual, but technology alleviates food production declines caused by pollution and stabilizes the population after a drop around 2040. Continuous innovation is required to provide efficiencies after initial overshoot of resources, but it largely avoids a collapse. A second scenario, stabilized world, sees a combination of policies and actions, recycling, conservation, renewable energy, etc., that reduce resource demand before harmful effects multiply, which avoids a collapse completely. This is the best outcome. However, it is the one that least fits real world data. A final scenario exists, which is the most likely: business as usual BAU2. Recycling and other policies never take hold. Pollution skyrockets as industrial output increases and then collapse as food production and then population plummet. The business as usual scenario results in the collapse of the global system by the mid to later part of the century, 2040-ish. This prediction produced a great deal of furor and criticism, including accusations of doomsaying. However, World 3 and the predictions of the limits to growth were not forgotten. In 2020, Guy Harrington, then the Director of Sustainability Services at KPMG, updated the World 3 model with historical, real world data, and the results were ominous. The data indicates that we are most likely following the business as usual scenario. Humanity appears right on schedule for our global system to collapse by 2040, with catastrophic declines in population, food supply, innovation, and industrial capacity. This ongoing collapse is occurring against a backdrop of increasing space exploration and plans for colonization of the moon and Mars. At the very moment humanity is able to reach the stars to solve our ongoing resource issues, the innovation, capital, and industrial base necessary to propel us beyond Earth will have vanished. And missing our chance at escape, humanity will be sentenced to ongoing dwindling resources, intellectual and technological decay trapped on our planet. Eventually, even our lone voice in the galaxy will silence. Why is this happening? What drives this self destructive behavior? It appears illogical that an intelligent species would continue behavior it knows will produce its own destruction. Unless we accept that intelligent species are universally prone to mass delusion or suicide, then it would point to short or medium term logical choices leading to undesired destructive consequences in the long term. What if those short and medium term logical choices are driven by the very nature of life itself? Life requires energy. The acquisition of this energy drives our evolutionary processes, with successful energy acquirers living and reproducing. Intelligence sent this process into hyperspeed on Earth, enabling humans to develop first tools, then social structures that could harness multiple people and their tools to tap more and more of the Earth's total energy. Modern civilization even exploits the energy of the past in the form of fossil fuels, which currently meet the vast majority of humanity's energy needs. The growth in energy consumption has resulted in ever larger and more complex structures to manage this exploitation and consumption. As the more successful energy exploiters on Earth accumulate more and more surpluses of energy, whether food, money, or literal electric energy, they use these surpluses to consolidate smaller and less successful exploiters. This appears logical in the face of very real productivity and efficiency gains through consolidation. However, this results in a significant concentration of risk. Fewer and fewer people make decisions of ever greater impact, with less and less peer review or viable opposition given imbalances in resources. While history has shown times of enlightened despotic rule where a single individual given almost unbridled power has produced extensive positive benefit, there are many, many, many more examples where unchecked power has resulted in entire nations suffering from the wrong decision of a single person. It's not necessarily malevolence. Incompetence is sufficient to create disaster. But what if the person in charge does have malevolent designs? A recent study theorized 20% of corporate CEOs display signs of psychopathy. This psychopathy of greed is a deviant, socially negative variety of life's imperative to acquire energy, but has proven to be a positive adaptation for that individual. These individuals become living embodiments of Purnell's iron law bureaucracy, which states that in any bureaucratic organization there will be two kinds of people. First, there will be those who are devoted to the goals of the organization. Examples are dedicated classroom teachers in an educational bureaucracy, many of the engineers, launch technicians, scientists at NASA, even some agricultural scientists and advisors in the former Soviet Union Collective Farming Administration. Secondly, there will be those dedicated to the organization itself. Examples are many of the administrators in the education system, many professors of education, many teachers union officials, much of the NASA headquarters staff, etc. And the Iron Law states that in every case, that second group will gain and keep control of the organization. It will rewrite the rules, and control promotions within the organization. This control by malevolent actors who become dedicated to the continued existence of the energy exploitation structure as is not without resistance. But history has provided numerous examples of the lengths these individuals will go to maintain the status quo. The Great Purge of the Soviet Union, the Great Leap Forward and subsequent Cultural Revolution, union busting, fossil fuel versus climate change disinformation are concrete examples of the malevolent drive to maintain control. And we're in a tight spot. This leads us to the present, where a small, entrenched group of malevolent actors have cornered control of humanity's mechanism to harness and exploit our physical resources and people that produce the energy that drives our global system. Through control of the administrators of this system, their power to make existential decisions on the part of the whole species remains unchallenged. The risk is tremendous. Maintaining the system as is has produced our own great filter in the form of environmental degradation and climate change. The power imbalance, coupled with the advent of new technologies to ensure that no viable opposition is possible, virtually ensures us arriving to our own destruction on time in 2040.